Hello everybody, my name is Eric Wood and welcome to Aric Talks, a show where I talk about things that are important to me. Let's jump right into it. And I know what you're asking. Eric, what did you do to your beautiful setup? Well, I'm in college now, and so I'm going through a difficult transition, so are you. In actual news, Donald Trump's campaign has recently gone through another upheaval. This time with campaign head Paul Manafort, a veteran Republican strategist, being ousted from the campaign, or quitting, as they are calling it nowadays. The controversy with him is that he has had ties previously to the Ukrainian government, specifically the Ukrainian president who was ousted during a revolution that kind of sparked the whole Ukrainian conflict, which is still going on today. One of the reasons that I find this interesting and that I wanted to talk to you about is because it's a very similar system that happened a few months ago with Lewandowski. Remember that first video I made? Yeah, this is pretty much the same situation, but with a different guy getting thrown out of the campaign. We've all heard the cliche that history repeats itself, but right now it seems like the Trump campaign repeats itself. There seems to be a constant cycle in which it looks like Trump's campaign is about to go through a major leadership change and where he completely changes his stances and suddenly he becomes a legitimate candidate, but so far that promise has come again and again and again and it hasn't happened yet. While we're watching this leadership change happen with the Trump campaign, we're seeing a lot of parallels to the Lewandowski shakeup. The same question that I posed then is the same question I'm gonna pose now. Is this good for America? I don't know. Is this good for the Trump campaign? I don't know. Is the change we are seeing in the Trump campaign long or short term? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about this. Trump, I don't care about you. Stop doing newsworthy things. Anyway, next on today's docket is Hillary Clinton. I don't care about you either. Why are you doing newsworthy things? So surprise, surprise, the FBI has recently discovered 15,000 more emails that Hillary Clinton decided not to share with the Justice Department. 15,000 more emails that she just decided weren't relevant to anything. So, do these emails reveal anything new about the Clinton email scandal? The answer seems to be, maybe. We don't know yet. Hillary Clinton, you belong in jail. I mean, you're not literally a fascist, so you have that going for you, but you belong in prison. Or at least hefty legal fines. What's wrong with you? Just give the frickin' world your emails and stop making a fuss about it. Good Lord. All right, next up on today's docket is about the transgender bathroom issue. Recently, Barack Obama issued an executive order mandating that all American public schools to allow transgender people to go into the bathroom of the gender that they themselves identify with. It was looking like everything was going swimmingly, exactly as Obama planned, but then a federal judge in, surprise, surprise, Texas, blocked that executive order, saying that it was unconstitutional for him to do that. Now, it's important to remember that this is a temporary block, and it will be addressed by a higher court, and the executive order will probably eventually go through, but it does underline the complicated political and legal issues associated with this transgender bathroom issue. I have heard a lot of good arguments on both sides of the fence on this one. Arguments that transgender people should be allowed to go to the bathroom that they choose. Arguments for why that's a bad idea. I've heard arguments for why the government does have the right to intervene on this issue. I've heard good arguments for why the government has no right to tell me where I can and can't pee. It's a very complicated legal, moral, and political issue that our country is slowly but surely addressing. Next up, in some slightly less political news, we have the video game No Man's Sky. Video game No Man's Sky is a literal galactic simulation of a giant universe that players can explore at their leisure, and they can name things, and they can interact with their environment, and they're essentially in the role of an explorer going to foreign planets and discovering new life forms and new galaxies and strange civilizations, going bravely where no man has gone before. It's looked like a pretty cool video game for a very long time, and the hype around it was immense. But now that it's been released, it's been met with a lot of criticism. Some people saying that the game is boring, some people saying that the game isn't in-depth enough. Anyway, there's been a lot of criticism surrounding the game, and it's quite frankly something I don't really understand. I mean, from what I've seen, the game seems to be exactly what it was advertised as. Beautiful universe that you have the right to free roam explore for as long as you want. That's exactly what's been advertised, and that's exactly what the game is. I mean, if you don't want to waste your time reading all the reviews like I have, I'll summarize them for you. The game is not literally perfect. That's the main criticism. The complaints with No Man's Sky, in my personal opinion, seem to be very, very nitpicky. And, you know, there are probably people who are much more familiar with game design than I am, which could dispute that claim. But, you know, I mean, just... it's a world-exploring game, and it does that. It's literally exactly what's been advertised. I don't really understand where the criticism is coming from. Hey, it's Eric from the future here. Right now I'm working on editing the video. Turns out that right after I finished filming that segment involving No Man's Sky, the new news story broke, pretty much saying that No Man's Sky may have accidentally deleted all the discoveries made by players up till about a week ago. And so that's a pretty big deal. If that is true, then it's not nitpicky. That is a perfectly legitimate reason to be upset about this game. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Enjoy your regularly scheduled programming. See ya. That about wraps up the news portion on the show. Now it's time to think deep. As I explained earlier in the video, I have just moved into my dorm on a college campus, and I'm starting going to college, which is phenomenal and exciting. But it also represents a transition period for me, and I don't like change very much. So it's kind of difficult. But at the same time, it's very exciting because now I'm getting plugged in to a new community of people. People who are intelligent, people who are crazy, people who are just fun to be around. I mean, I have so much to be grateful for in terms of this new community that I'm building. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the importance of community in our lives. We have talked a little bit about community in previous episodes. Remember the Pokemon Go episode where I started talking about how nation states may be collapsing, but hey, at least we have online community because Pokemon Go is community at the end of the day. The book Ulysses once defined a nation as the same people living in the same place. And also different places. Community is so nebulous and hard to tie down that it's something that even the most intelligent writers can't really seem to define. I mean, whether that's community as in your local church, or community as in your nation state, or community as in your local soccer team, it's always difficult to pin down. But I would caution you to remember that even when you feel like you don't have a lot in common with the people who are in your community, that's still a part of community. According to the ancient Greeks, there's a type of love called agape, decision to act lovingly towards, even when it's inconvenient for you. That's what community is. Community is a group of people who love and tolerate each other, even when it's hard, because they have some kind of commonality. Even if you're just human. I mean, we're all a part of a grand human community. And being human, sentient beings, we have things in common with each other, no matter what. Whether that commonality is in the food we like, or those shared human experiences, or the fact that we lie awake in bed feeling like we were meant for something more, all the earth has commonality. If you're going into any transition right now, whether that transition is college, some kind of professional transition, whether you're moving to a different city or anything, if you're going through a transition, just remember that no matter what, you have commonality with your brothers and sisters in this big, bizarre world. And the more we find that commonality, the easier life will be. People will try to divide you and try and convince you that it's us against them and etc., etc. But remember, if the world is on fire, we're all going up in flames. That's a type of community. Anyway, that about wraps up the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna see if I can do anything interesting with this very boring white wall. We'll figure it out together. I'm looking forward to this transition. Anyway, as always, you are a beautiful human being. Try to change the world today. And as always, sincerely yours, Eric Wood. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Unfortunately, I do not have the tiny tree of subscription or even the channel globe for you to click on. So instead, high-five this hand if you want to subscribe, or high-five this hand if you want to go watch more videos. And by high-five, I mean click, because unless you have a touchscreen, in which case I suppose you could still high-five. No. High-fiving a touchscreen really wouldn't do anything. You need to, like, poke my hands. You get what I'm saying. So just, like, yeah, do what you want. Bye.